Could you just pass that on to that lady?
There's no apologies.
Well, then go up there and then come down to you, okay?
Hi, my name is Narelle, and my family are lucky enough to have a Walpri lad living with us. He's only 11. We're very close to his Walpri family and also his Eastern Aranda family. This boy who's only 11 knows how important that Aboriginal law is to him and his family, and he tells us daily of things that happen in his culture that he must abide by. And I'm with these two people in the front here who say that their culture is never going to die. Whitefella has got to start listening to these people and understanding how important it is, because even 11-year-olds in your culture know how important it is. And we're so proud that we're part of his family, and I'd like somebody on the panel to tell us whitefellas what can we do to get our government to start listening to you, because I know how important, and especially what Rosie said, we visit lots of family in prison, and I know how hard it is for them if their spirit does die in there because of those reasons. What can we do as whitefellas to help our government to see how this means to you?
Okay, look, before we take it, could we have Dave to actually sort of tell us the little story in regards to a situation to probably help explain?
Yeah, it's disappointing that we're still having this argument. I want to talk about an experience of our family. Back in 2002, a young man, a young brother of mine, he's taken the life of a Walpri young fella here in town, of great concern to our family. You know, we're sad for the young man that lost his life. We're sad for that blood that's been spilt on our country from a young man from somewhere else. And what to me seemed like a logical process. Our families communicated with the victim's family to work out what happens now. What do? We need to heal this injury that's affecting both of our communities. And that just seemed like a logical process. There was great communication between Walpri families and Aranda families about what would happen, where it would be, down to the finer detail about where that place is, who's that old man that's going to administer, bringing forward the parents of that young man so that they can present themselves to the victim's family. And then families speaking to me saying, yeah, this is all great, we've done this, but we've got young brother, he's in prison at the moment. Well, to me, it's logic again. Well, we just go to the court, we apply for bail, we talk the situation, and for Aranda families here in Alice Springs, it was a hectic, worrying time. We're worried, we know in the past that if business isn't done, then individuals take it upon themselves to be judge, jury and executioner and fulfil that business because they know that it needs to be done. They know in the past it hasn't been done. So we, appeal. Mr. Ward's our magistrate, and probably a rare man that will accept the logic of the situation. Because of that worry about our families and Walpri families, perhaps individuals taking on that process, we've had to evacuate the town. We had some 20 houses at town camps and in townhouses, and we take our family deep into Aranda country so that we can protect them and keep them safe. And we just applied what I consider just to be logic, where we appeal to the magistrate, say that we've got business to do. If we don't do this business now, that will carry on. And I know from my experience in working in prisons that business that's not fulfilled continues on. It makes what's already a difficult scenario in prison, a concentrated, diverse group of people living tightly together. Last thing you need is a big burden of unfinished business of a death of a young person not being resolved, impacting on those already hard relationships that happen in prison. And Mr. Ward's released a young bloke into my custody, family representative. We take him out, business is administered. It's not about taking his life, it's about healing. And I think payback's probably a real vulgar translation about what the process is. And I think, you know, maybe we can start a better use of language around what that ceremony is about.
Yeah.
He's administered. We hand him back to the courts. There's no dramas from then on. Everybody's free and healthy from that business of that person being deceased. No dramas in prison. Young man gets out. No dramas after that. The strength of that relationship is reflected today when you see the Central Desert Shire, when we have Aranda and Warlpiri families make up that Central Desert Shire. These fulfilment of this ceremony helps maintain those cultural relationships, and to me that's seemed like logical process, and it's disappointing we're still having to have an intellectual debate about. For me, it seems like logic.